I'd like to take a minute to talk about agoraphobia. Agoraphobia, the word, literally means a fear of open spaces. Agora coming from the Latin term, which means open spaces. Phobia, most people know what that means, which is fear or irrational fear. In the United States of America, approximately 3.2 million people from ages 18 to 54 suffer or have suffered from agoraphobia at some point in time. Of those people, more women typically suffer from agoraphobia than men do. These are only recorded cases, so this information may or may not be accurate. Agoraphobia is typically linked to panic disorder or panic attacks. Approximately a third of people who have panic disorder will develop agoraphobia because of it. Agoraphobia affects every aspect of many people's lives, whether it be a mild case or a severe case. Mild cases, people, they're anxious about things, but they can still live day to day. They can still go out and work and shop and hang out with their friends. They just have a lot of fear about it. But sometimes they can typically overcome most of it. They may not do everything they want to, but they can usually do everything they need to. People who are severe cases, although what they do I don't call living. They're typically prisoners in their own home. They don't leave, they don't do anything. If they work from home. Anything they do is from home. They don't take one step out their front door. You know, maybe they'll go on the front lawn, but usually they just stay inside their house. And they don't do anything and they don't go anywhere just because they're so afraid. What are they afraid of? Could be anything. Some people are afraid of people. Some people are afraid of panic attacks, which is how panic disorder is linked to agoraphobia. People are so afraid that they're going to have a panic attack, which is a horrible thing. It's a horrible thing to go through. It's a horrible thing to feel. I would not wish that upon anyone. I feel so sorry for people who go through that so frequently. You may have seen severe agoraphobics portrayed in TVs or in movies by actors and actresses, just as people that don't go outside their house. Where you've seen it, they may somehow overcome their fear, but it's not that easy. It's not, you can't just overcome it. It's a very hard thing to deal with. It's very, very, very hard. People who are just agoraphobic and don't have panic attacks, I would probably consider them the lucky ones in a sense. Being afraid of what may or may not be there is one thing, but when you're afraid of a panic attack, it's a very scary thing. Not to say that agoraphobia isn't serious. It is very serious. Agoraphobia and panic disorder, it's a completely different kind of phobia. It's a completely different kind of phobia. People, when they have a panic attack, usually it's hard to breathe. They get really, really shaky all over. Sometimes it involves crying. And sometimes they feel pretty disoriented. And you can become a completely different person. For some people, when they have panic attacks, on the surface it may look like nothing's wrong, and they could be going through something so tormenting and so horrible on the inside, and no one may ever know. Agoraphobia, to the average person, it doesn't make any sense. To some agoraphobics, it doesn't make any sense. It's very hard to explain to medical doctors, to psychologists, to psychiatrists. It is very hard to explain, especially if you don't know what's going on or you don't know why it's happening. There's just so much involved with agoraphobia. There's so many different things that can cause it, that can inflame panic attacks, that make you afraid. I read somewhere that agoraphobia is a fear of a fear. And that is that can be very true for many people. They're afraid of what they're afraid of. You know, you might be afraid to go somewhere because you're afraid you're going to have a panic attack. Panic attacks can be very scary. You might be afraid to go somewhere just because you've never been there before. But it's to such an extreme that some people would almost rather die than feel this anxiety, than feel the fear from what they go through every day. Maybe not every day, but every day for many people. Sorry, I'm a little anxious right now. Anyway, that's just some random stuff that I wanted to share. In this sidebar, I'm going to put a couple of links for information on agoraphobia, just general information, probably nothing too specific. I know some people don't like to read too terribly much if they don't have to. But I thank you for watching, and there will be a video soon to follow this about my personal experience with agoraphobia. Yay. Thanks.